Good evening, friends. Today we have successfully conducted polling for all the 40 assembly constituencies of state of Goa. Let me start with the total polling figure, total electors. We had 11,64,224 electors, out of which for the first time we had 9 transgender electors. These all were added with the efforts of our electoral registration officer with the help of NGOs. The biggest assembly constituency in terms of electors is Vasco da Gama, which is 35,552. The smallest is the neighboring Mormugao, which is 20,412. In 2017 election, we had 11,10,866 electors. The biggest assembly was Vasco da Gama, 35,601. The smallest was Sant Andre, 20,941. This time we are having 298 service electors, for which we have sent postal ballot through electronic means by way of ETPBS system. We had made extensive efforts for enrollment and tagging of persons with disability, as a result of which we could be able to tag 9,590 PWD electors. We have total 29,797 80 years old and above electors. These two figures are important because for the first time, Election Commission of India has extended the facility of absentee voters. And for these absentee voters, Form 12D was issued through the BLO, and 13,115 postal ballots were issued, and total postal ballot absentee votes casted is 12,546 by these categories of absentee voters. This time we had total 301 candidates, out of which male candidates were 275, female candidates 26. General candidates were 292, SC candidates were 9. Total polling stations we have is 1,722. These were spread across 1,171 polling stations, and this was the first time we had increased the all-women managed polling stations substantially. Earlier we had experimented in 17 election with one all-women managed polling station per AC. This time we had 105. Model polling station we had 40. Divyang polling stations we had 8, and 11 were green polling stations. And this time we had made an attempt to replace all the election materials which were non-biodegradable with biodegradable materials like bamboo beans. You must have seen when you had casted vote. This is one of the major experiments with election management this time in Goa. And moreover, this 11 green polling stations, these were showcasing Goa's natural heritage, Goa's cultural diversity, and these were beautifully decorated with the help of the BLOs, with the AEROs, EROs, and Biodiversity Board officials. In this election, we had total 21 observers, general observers, expenditure observers were 9, police observers were 5. And micro observers were substantially increased from 160 in 2017 to 310. And for the first time we had 2 special observers, one general observer, one special police observer. Polling personnel were 8,610, reserve polling personnel were 1,885, totaling 10,495 polling personnel. Flying squads were 81, static surveillance team were 31. In previous election, these were 21 static surveillance team. This time we had enough deployment of central forces, for which my colleague, the State Police Nodal Officer, will touch upon. We had carried out webcasting from all the 1,722 polling stations, and for the first time we had deployed a solution developed by IIT Goa, in which AI-based webcasting was done, in which through computer vision technology, live head count was displayed, and the big screen which is behind you was showing all the polling stations, although right now it is blank. We could see the head count, the persons were moving, the numbers were decreasing, persons were entering, numbers were increasing. So that way we were effectively able to monitor these kind of polling stations, and these were especially chosen at 100 polling stations. And these 100 polling stations were, green polling station was 1, pink polling station was 28, model polling station was 7, vulnerable locations were 53, Divyang polling stations were 8, and regular were 3. So total at 100 locations, we had successfully carried out this AI-based webcasting system, and we had, you must have seen our social media handles. The sweep strategies was effectively carried out in all corners of Goa. Lot of contests we have organized, which we displayed through our website also and through our social media. And I'm very pleased to inform you that during the last 1 month, our Facebook page interaction was more than 7 lakh. Considering the population of state, it is quite substantial in nature. Similarly, our Instagram page was also more than 3 lakh. And I must say that the content strategy of the CO Goa and the development strategy through various contests like selfie competition, like slogan making competitions, small film making competitions, Kantaram competition. So we have chosen to represent the diversity of Goa through our sweep strategy also. We had received around 25,000 postcards in Right to CEO contest, which was organized with the help from Postal Department. This time, Suvidha platform of Election Commission of India was used in a big way to give permission. And total permissions given were 2,000, application we received were 2,166, and out of which 1,515 permissions were issued. Similarly, C-Vigil was one of the major tools through which citizens were having the direct power to inform the election machinery about any violations. And we have successfully received and disposed 612 cases, out of which around 60% cases were correct. We had employed L-Traces system by which GPS tracking of all the vehicles were done of those who are carrying EVMs. So even tonight after this press conference, we'll further be tracking movement of all the EVMs which are in the field. One more solution was developed by IIT Goa, the students particularly, is Voter Dost on Telegram chatbot, and it was quite handy for the voters, by which by putting their Epic card they could get their polling location through Google link. We have also for internal management developed an interactive booth level election management plan portal through Goa Electronics Limited, in which all election statistics as well as their maps, these were put on the system in the online platform, which helped us in management of our election. And one serious thing happened, which was in the news even yesterday, was violation of section 126 of RP Act, under which certain social media posts for the first time we escalated, and total 30 individual posts were deleted by different platforms on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter.
Sir, request you to repeat this part.
Pardon?
This part can be repeated, please.
Total, during the silence period, there were certain violations were observed by certain posts on social media in the silence period of 48 hours in violation of section 126 of RP Act, in which 30 individual posts were deleted because they were violating the silence period guidelines. Another major novel feature of this election was publication of criminal antecedent by political parties and candidates. In this election, after examination of affidavit, we found 80 candidates were having criminal antecedents. Number of the Mandrem and Pedne had 4 candidates each with highest number of criminal antecedents, and Aldona, May and Madkai had no candidates with criminal antecedents. And we had vigorously pursued with political parties and candidates. The result is, we had monitored it, it may change, is the publication was done once in 7 cases, twice in 21 cases, thrice in 51 cases, and not at all in one case. You know, there is a mandate by Honorable Supreme Court in which all the candidates and their political party, they are supposed to publish the criminal antecedents in newspaper, in TV, thrice during the campaign period. That we had effectively sensitized the political parties during our weekly interaction in the run-up to election, and political parties have published, and even candidates mostly they have complied with the direction. Now I request my colleague IGP sir to dwell upon the seizures as well as on the law and order.